Today's verse is 1 Corinthians 13:16. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. And I want to talk about the truth according to each personality. Now, I don't mean capital T truth, which never changes. I mean each personality's particular perspective on the truth, especially when we look at the holidays. For a sanguine, they might go to a party or a holiday event, and their report at the end of it might be, "Oh, that was so boring." Well, does that mean that you planned a bad party or that the event really was boring? Not necessarily, because to a sanguine, remember, if they didn't have what they perceive to be fun, if they didn't get a lot of attention and approval, they may well end up labeling boring simply to mean that their perceived needs were not met the way that they had hoped they would be met. For the melancholy, you might hear, "Oh my goodness, this Christmas program, Christmas party, whatever, was such a disaster." Well, does that mean it really was a disaster? Oh my goodness. Well, most likely it means that they had a particular standard that they hoped to reach and that there were some imperfections that marred it. Truth is, from a melancholy, you rarely are going to get a 5-star rating. You're rarely going to get them to say 100% that they were satisfied with something. My husband has a gospel quartet and a praise and worship band, and when he comes home after concerts and I'll say, "So how did it go?" The best I've ever heard him say was, "Well, I wasn't entirely displeased this time." So for the choleric, what might be their slice of truth? Let's say that there's an event at the holidays that they don't necessarily want to go to, but they have to, maybe because of their job or family obligation or just it's expected of them. What you may hear reporting back from them afterwards, "Oh, that was such a waste of my time. Colossal waste of time." Well, does that mean the event really was without meaning, without value? Not necessarily. It just means that the choleric, who loves to be in control, who has their lists of things to do and wants to check them off and achieve, felt like doing their own thing would have been more valuable than going to this particular event. So again, with each of these scenarios, it's more about the person than it is about the actual event. And then for our phlegmatics, an event that involves any kind of conflict is going to be judged the worst thing ever. Whether or not it was really a horrible conflict, whether or not it was out of control, whether the two people who were in conflict may have been enjoying it or, realized that it was going to settle out later, for the phlegmatic, peace at all costs is such a high value to them. My son is at least 50% phlegmatic, and he really does not like remembering family events at which there was conflict. And because I'm part Armenian and my husband's part German, a lot of times there will be some loud, boisterous discussions. And for him, that's like, ooh, that really, really is hard on him. So one of the truths that's going to come out of all of this, I hope you've already realized, is that trying to please everybody at the holidays is really impossible because each of us has such very different needs and we're each going to have a different version of how we look at things. And so our version of the truth is going to look quite different. Now, truth isn't relative. Again, going back to the capital T, that's always the same. God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. But what I see as true and what you see as true may look like very, very different things. And so kind of blessing and releasing this need to keep everybody happy and to be all things to all people. Maybe with this information we can be a little bit more understanding and a little more sympathetic. But to try to please absolutely everybody is really setting us up for some disappointment. And anyways, the point of all of this isn't that any one personality has a market on the truth. The point of 1 Corinthians 13:6, love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. At least the point I'm trying to apply here as we look at the personalities and apply it to the holidays, is that it's not so important who's right, who has the truth, lower T truth. What's important is for us to love each other despite our differences. That is most definitely true.